Hello everyone, welcome to Man Manga. Boy read his stuff. Let's see, what did Man Manga read this time? What was his stuff? This time his stuff was this stuff right here. We've got the usual, I think. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's start with something a little unusual here. Insufficient Direction by Moyoko Ano. That's this girl right here. The wife of our creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion. He goes by Director Kun in this one, and she goes by Rompers. I don't really know why. Maybe it's to kind of distance her and her husband from the work, even though it's them, but like kind of like a caricature of them. It's just like their fun everyday life, and essentially how he like converts her to be an otaku, and then she realizes she's an otaku all along. It is pretty funny. He keeps losing and gaining weight back and forth because he's like a weeb, and so he doesn't he doesn't care. But every once in a while he'll look in the mirror and say, holy shit, I'm fat. Kind of like me, I feel like I get like that sometimes too. I'm like, no big deal, whatever. I'll eat 30 chicken nuggets and the cheeseburger. Then that turns to be me. And then I'm like, holy shit, that's my belly. It's sticking out of my shirt. I better start doing some of those. And so then my pants fall off. It's a difficult cycle. What can you do? Anyway, this is a lot of fun. I had a blast going through this. It's a lot of text, so it is a bit of a longer read, but it's got tons of different references to older anime and manga. Definitely worth checking out if, you're in for a laugh, or especially if like you are dating somebody who is interested in anime or manga, but maybe not as interested in you, and how you're slowly corrupting them. That's kind of like things that I was realizing when I was reading through it. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 9. This series is still not caught up to the season 1 of the anime, I believe, but we are finally out of May's world, so that was nice. We fight this demon down in the Dragon Life blood vein, and he kind of has to go like medium serious against the guy, but not for the demon that he's fighting, but for the guy that is going to be powering this demon and giving him directions. So we get some insight that there is some greater being at work here, kind of pushing things in the direction that they found themselves in when he reincarnated. So yeah, that was really interesting to kind of see that plot start to, go somewhere a little bit more. We get ambushed by the town, obviously, because he's wanted, but people don't know that he's the wanted one because he's a little boy. So that's pretty funny. He goes crazy, as you can see here with these cool eyes. So I did really enjoy to see him kind of take things medium seriously here. Exciting to see what happens next with the upcoming series and the new looming threat of an actual powerful enemy that might actually make him do a little sweating. That'd be nice, huh? Main character to actually have some adversary, some challenges. Dai Katana, Goblin Slayer Side Story 2, Volume 3. Dai Katana is again about the main hero party who took out the Demon King years before starting Goblin Slayer, main series, and even year 1, I believe. So this kind of shows us how our party has to go into the dungeon to save people, but the rooms change, the loot response, people are like, that's kind of weird. And also there's bandits hiding in the rooms. The bandits are regular people who are just trying to get more treasure, so that way they can kind of advance further into the maze or dungeon. It doesn't really help anybody though to do that. It just helps them kind of like mildly, just for a second. It doesn't help kind of progress against the Demon Lord, people are realizing. So we save the party, and then they kind of tell us how looting works and how carrying the dead works. So it's an interesting kind of a lore volume. It's not so much of a anything happens volume though. I really felt like this is, if you skipped this volume, I don't know, it seemed like you'd be okay. I don't know, that's not really a good thing to say, in my opinion. If I could read through something and say, If I skip this, I bet you I would be able to read the next one just fine because nothing really all that important happened in this one. At least not that I can think of. Maybe they'll flash back to it and say, oh yeah, remember that? That shit was important as fuck. And I'll be like, oh damn, it was. But when I read through it, when I'm talking to you guys about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess nothing really happened. He just went in there, saved this party, and then they left, and some of the party members that they were trying to save died. Some of them didn't before they got there. And they carried the bodies back, and they helped them carry it back, and they split the reward. So I feel like kind of annoyed by that. So now when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that really wasn't that great. You know, as I'm looking back on it. Goblin Slayer side story year 1. This is a freaking thick fat boy. So Goblin Slayer year 1 does tend to be traveling between a few different parties here. Goes between Goblin Slayer and this mage lady. This crew right here with the witch, which I really like. And then a third party, which is the original party that kind of he got kicked out of because he wanted to dissect the goblin, which I thought was funny. The main story on year 1 for this one shows us the spear boy here fighting against the warlock that the last party were unable to kill, but were able to run away from. He kills him with the help of the witch, who uses silence to really make it easy. They come across a cockatrice, which is really neat, and take him out as well. So she's very happy with their fun date with each other. So that's the first half of it, the first third. The rest of it, in my opinion, is a lot more interesting. They go through this big tower, which is, I guess, not real. She brings him to it, and he has to kill unlimited goblins. Whoa, baby, am I right or am I right? Unlimited goblins, sign me up. So he has to go kill unlimited goblins while she's trying to solve these puzzles. Each time she solves a puzzle, they go to the next floor. It gets more and more complicated, and they keep going higher and higher. Eventually, she solves them all and ends up reaching some euphoria thing, which was really cool. I was like, what just happened? It is something that we don't get a lot of in Goblin Slayer, main series, the magic side of things, because there's not really any huge devoted mage character, right? There's a priest, then there's the lizard guy. I think he's probably the closest thing to a mage, and he just uses like dragon arts. And then the dwarf uses like dwarven arts or earth magic. So she's like a study of all magic and things. And to have her kind of go into the sky and just connect to, I think she goes to the moon or something. I'm not really sure. She just is gone. And the Goblin Slayer's like, we'll probably never see her again. And I think she might be in Katana, but it might just be a girl with a similar haircut. It's, not that significant of a haircut. Anyways, I really found this to be an interesting read. I hope the future ones can kind of live up to this, because now that this main story plot is gone, it was kind of driving the plot forward for the past few volumes. Just her in general. Hard to say where it's going to go from there, but I had a blast reading this. If you are reading Goblin Slayer or a fan of Goblin Slayer, definitely do not be skipping out on year 1. Year 1 is an amazing piece to the story. I don't know how else to say that. Multimined Mayhem Isekai Tensei Sodoki. This series is pretty much the main character. Bard has these two minds kind of reincarnated, in one from the modern age Oka and the other one Oka. Oh man, I didn't ever realize that. What the heck? He's the first soul inside of Bard's body, and he's the second soul. He's like a samurai. He's a student who knows the stuff about hair care and is able to make shampoo and make Bard rich, blah 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 blah. They get the shiny hair. Bard has to kind of prove himself to the rest of the world that he is not a piece of shit, and so he does that. And then the other king is like, yep, you're right, he's not a piece of shit. And if he marries my daughter, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And so he's got 3 different girls that he's got to potentially be suitoring him. Great, right? Just what we needed. Anyways, we also find out that he has cholera, and somehow the modern spirit boy in his brain knows cholera. Like, just is like, yep, dehydrated, diarrhea, puking, gotta be cholera. Could not just be food poisoning, could not just be you're dying, could not just be flu. Cholera, that's it. And so he also knows how to cure cholera. And I'm just like over here like, no, he fucking doesn't. No, he doesn't. If he was such a genius, like, which I don't think they established that he was, you know, the modern day soul inside of him, I don't think he would have died. You know, I don't think he would have. So, and I really don't think he would just be doing nothing. You know, I think he would be up to something. I think he would be scheming a lot more than he is, which he doesn't hardly do anything ever. So I don't get it. I really don't understand how he knows this. He knows how to do wells. I really cannot fathom it. But whatever. You know, the story kind of continues through. He cures cholera. It's an interesting thing, to say the least. And then he has to go across the sea here at the very end. And that's kind of where we leave off. They're going on the adventure. I'm really hoping for a little bit more action, a little bit more adventure, a little bit more magic, really. Manga is still very funny. I mean, mostly the reason I'm reading through this at this point, I feel like, is for the comedy. But more so for the hope of something to happen. He does go through school and becomes a second year, like in light speed, you know, like that. So that's cool, but I really want to know more about the goal. Right now, this story is about Bard just being a successful person. And, you know, good for you, Bard, but, like, is there, like, a demon lord or something? Is there something more you want to tell me about this world, Bard? I don't know. It just seems kind of bland. If you like war, politics, more so politics, I mean, you probably really like it. I really don't like politics. I don't think they're super interesting. I kind of think they're boring, even in real life. If you had to tell me to care about made-up politics, I'm gonna have to say no, thank you. I don't even really like our own politics, so this is not great. Not looking great for me. Blue period. This starts TUA. Well, yeah, I think this starts TUA. I don't think we start TUA in Volume 6, right? Yeah, no. So TUA starts here. We go through the entrance ceremony, and our main thing with Yamaguchi is he's like really feeling like he has no idea what he's doing here. And, you know, just like many people probably would feel this way in any school where the teachers are kind of harsh, and, you know, you think that you suck at it, you don't belong at this really prestigious school because you just started art, you know? So he's not like a repeater, you know, who's been studying art for years and years like a lot of the other students. He passed into TUA in the first try, and so he's worried that he doesn't know anything about it because he has no experience. Teachers are telling him, you know, like, why'd you paint that? And he's like, I liked it. And they're like, that's not really a reason, dude. And he's like, I really like that. And then also when he does his thing, you know, to get, I forget what it's called, reviews, it falls apart, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna skip yours. And then so that's also really embarrassing too. They have a little ceremony thing, festival, and that was really cool. The festival is kind of falling apart though, so they have to work together. But I like this little arc because it kind of shows us that, you know, our Yamaguchi isn't the only one who doesn't know what he's doing. Like, everybody doesn't know what they're doing, and they're all trying to kind of wing it. So that's exciting. That's a nice little bit of breather, a little bit of revelation that I needed to see from people, because, you know, I didn't understand that really. I really just thought it was our main character who's just, like, you know, new, and I was like, damn, dude, that sucks, because, like, I could totally imagine being in his shoes. Like, that's totally rough. But no, and he's, you know, constantly questioning his work and art. He hardly is even making art other than just, like, you know, for his assignments, where before, you might remember, he was doing, like, all these different pieces, and now he's, like, doing, like, the bare minimum. So he, like, just doesn't get what he needs to do at this time. So I'm really having a blast. This is a pretty big change in pace from what we were dealing with before, and a different kind of mentality that he's dealing with. I keep calling, I think his name's also Yamaguchi, actually. I'm thinking about it, right? Yatoru Yamaguchi? Am I losing my mind? Maybe I am. Oh, Yaguchi, not Yamaguchi, Yaguchi, sorry. he's Yamaguchi. So get rid of this yam. Get rid of the yam. It's Yaguchi. I wonder if it's like an out of bibliography or something like that. That's pretty interesting, huh? Phantom Seers 3 and 4. So this is going to cover the end of Phantom Seer. Canceled after the 4th volume, or halfway through the 4th volume. This goes through the Dollhouse arc. I really enjoyed the Dollhouse arc. It was really creepy AF. We got all these creepy dolls watching them, and that's always like a horror scene. We've got these gigantic dolls. We've got people turning into dolls. We've got it's an illusion. We see the kind of people fight together with the not Tenjin, Tengu. Sorry, Tengu. Geez, I don't know why I can't think right. And so that was really cool to see that he doesn't see them as his tools, that they're his like family. And then also we see this girl fight as well. She gets this trance demon ability where she can kind of, merge with her spirit. That was really neat too. This gigantic puppet master ends up having a human inside of her. That was wild. Not only is she inside of her, but she also has an arm as a demon, just like the other guy did, which was really neat. It ends kind of abruptly. It's just like, they finish the Dollhouse arc. Senju Doji shows up as well, and they are like, okay, and main character guy and his girl continue to slay spirits or phantoms. The end. And it's like, damn, dude, that sucks. Because, like, this was creepy. This was, like, a pretty cool arc. I really do recommend people to read through this series. Look how creepy this is. There's a few one-shots at the end as well that show one of the other characters and how he met the main character's sister. I believe it is canon anyways. And then there's also the one-shot in here as well that shows how, it got accepted, and it's even creepier than the original series. So, yeah, I know, I really do like this series. I feel like there was a spot for it in Jump, but I guess that's come and gone at this point. Anyways, I do recommend checking it out if you guys ever have the time to do it. Definitely, either grab it on, physical print, or grab it on the, the Viz app and give it a read. It definitely worth your time to check it out. But yeah, just a real shame that it didn't continue on, because definitely had good potential. Vinland Saga Volume 8. Vinland Saga. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So we get to this girl. She's done being a woman. Leif Erikson's niece or something like that. Somehow she's related to Leif Erikson, and married to the main villain at the beginning of the series that Thor's was kind of going against at the village. It seems like he's kind of matured and is less of a bully than he was at the beginning, but he still is owning, land and people just like their things, and has no real problem doing it. But he sees Thorfinn and is very excited by him because he sees, his father Thor's in Thorfinn, of course. We leave, we take the girl with him, and this is a big issue because she was supposed to be marrying the son of that guy that I was just talking about right here, this guy. And when she takes off, he's like, oh, I need to get her down because that's my wife. This is a big political thing. We lose out, stuff by not getting it, and so does her family. She should really want to marry into my family because we are like the landlords of the world here. And so that's very cool. We see this bear that Thorfinn gets to kind of take out. And Thorfinn also finds this girl he has wronged in the past. Her name is Hilda, and we get a little bit of a flashback of badass young Thorfinn as he killed her dad. Apparently, it looks like it was from Askeladd's orders for whatever reason, and you kind of get that vibe from it. It's not really a huge shock as you're reading through it that's probably where this is going. Thorfinn's past has started to catch up to him, and somehow he's going to need to take care of this quicker than sooner than later. So that's very cool to see this already start happening to him. They really got nowhere. He broke out of the slave or the farmland part, and then he goes home, gathers his resources with Leif, builds his crew, and the first stop is Revenge City from your past. So yeah, definitely liking this story so far. Excited to see what Crossbow Lady can do, and how Thor is going to get out of this one without using violence. Thorfinn is, of course, trying to get through life without using violence, killing people anymore, to get to Vinland and just make world of peace. So yeah, huge fan of that. That is what I read this week. What did you read this week? Was it really as good as mine? I don't know. I'd be kind of shocked. My real main manga I didn't really enjoy as well as I would have liked would probably be Multimined Mayhem and Daikatana. Daikatana in the past I've enjoyed, but we're only in volume 3, and I feel like this volume could be skipped, so that's not great. In Multimined Mayhem, we're leaving the main kingdom now, so I've got high hopes that it's going to improve from there, but we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. What did you enjoy this week? What did you not enjoy this week? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.